What's up, News Geeks? My name is OMG WTF LOL FTW BRB, and welcome to Suprokcer Saturday. If you're unfamiliar with what Suprokcer Saturday is the one day of the week that I choose to do really any game that I want, with basically kind of like no storyline behind or anything, such as the game that we've been playing for a couple of months now, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or should I say Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Today we're going to be playing as a team like, I don't know, it's like a robotic team or a scientific team, because Modok's not really robotic, and neither is Iron Man. But nonetheless, I just gave away who I'm going to be playing as, but yes, we're going to be playing as M.O.D.O.K, and one of M.O.D.O.K's main foes, but teammate today, Iron Man, and we're going to be using not the Unibeam, we're going to be using the Repulsor Blast. And for M.O.D.O.K, I put Barry on him, and nonetheless, we're going to be choosing Zero from Mega Man X in this team, and we're going to be, I tried to match up the costumes here as best as I could, and yeah, there we go. And we're going to be using this Shapuga. And this is always good. Put our difficulty to normal. I went to hard, and we're going to have infinity time. First battle is going to be against X-23, Phoenix, and Mike Hagar.
So many ways to kill so little time.
I'm the second best at what I do.
So a reoccurring thing I've been doing in these Marvel vs. Capcom 3 arcade playthroughs is giving you some information on the character that I win with. And I like to tell you guys right now, I'm usually not good at this game. I mean, most characters I'm not good with, but I consider myself pretty good as M.O.D.O.K, and you'll see that in this playthrough. Nonetheless, today we're going to be winning as M.O.D.O.K nonetheless. And M.O.D.O.K is an acronym for Mental or Mobile or Mechanized Organism designed only for killing. He first appeared in the Tales of Suspense number 93 in September 1967 and was created by the great Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. He debuted during the Silver Age of comic books and has appeared in over 4 decades of Marvel comics. And also starring in the limited series Supervillain Team Up. The costume I'm actually using is from Supervillain Team Up, but he starred in the Supervillain Team Up M.O.D.O.K 11 number 1 through 5 during September through December 2008. And the self-titled one-shot publication M.O.D.O.K Rain Delay number 1 in November 2009. And the fact that it says number 1 makes me believe that it was originally supposed to be more than one comic book, but didn't receive a good reputation for some reason. M.O.D.O.K was ranked number 100 on IGN's top 100 comic book villains of all time. So M.O.D.O.K just barely made it, and Hagar almost barely made it, but he didn't make it.
Now that's mind over matter.
Clearly you lack my intelligence, or you would have realized only a humiliating defeat awaited you. Well, there's my best M.O.D.O.K impersonation. I hope you all enjoyed it. Next up, Iron Fist, Magneto, and Beautiful Joe.
Your chi can never compare to the powers of science.
The Iron Fist can hold it in store.
I believe the little ending speech there by M.O.D.O.K when he fought Hagar was like a jab at him, and of course the beginning speech before Iron Fist was definitely a jab at him. But nonetheless, M.O.D.O.K started out as a villain to Captain America, but eventually became a foe to some of the greatest heroes in the Marvel Universe, including Captain America, Iron Man, and Ms. Marvel. He was assassinated in Captain America number 313 in January 1986, but the character's body makes a ghoulish return in Iron Man number 205 in April 1986. Wasn't dead for too long. During the Taking Aim storyline in Avengers number 386 through 387 in May through June in 1995, Captain America number 440 June 1995, Avengers number 388 in July 1995, and Captain America number 441 in July 1995, M.O.D.O.K was resurrected. George Tarleton is a technician for the organization Advanced Idea Mechanics, otherwise known as AIM. Having recently created the artifact, the Cosmic Cube, the AIM scientists used advanced mutant genetics to alter Tarleton and create the super intelligent M.O.D.O.K, originally spelled with a C, and was an acronym for Mental Organism Designed Only for Computing. We'll talk more about that once we get there next.
Mental organism designed only for killing. Now you know why.
It pains me to hurt one with such a large cranium, but your verbosity left me no choice. An obvious jab at Beautiful Joe's gigantic head. Our next battle is against Dr. Strange, Chris Redfield, and Strider Hero.
I will prove once again again that science prevails over
A
magic.
novice of the mystic arts could defeat you.
An obvious jab at Dr. Strange there, saying that science is better than magic, but nonetheless, he was, originally the M.O.D.O.K, mental organ, was designed only for computing to study and improve the object, otherwise known as the cosmic cube. M.O.D.O.K, however, became ambition and kills its former masters and takes control over AIM. Calling itself M.O.D.O.K now spelled with a K at the end, it comes into conflict with the hero Captain America, who is intent on rescuing S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Sharon Carter from AIM. M.O.D.O.K becomes a reoccurring foe for Captain America, battling the hero on 3 more occasions, with the last encounter revealing the villain's origin. M.O.D.O.K also battles Namor the Submariner and Doctor Doom, who is intent on claiming the Cosmic Cube. AIM becomes dissatisfied with the lack of scientific advancement and M.O.D.O.K's obsession with seek revenge against the metahumans. Ousting him from power, M.O.D.O.K attempts to regain control of the organization and prove his worth by unleashing a nerve agent on New York City, which is prevented by Miss Marvel and Vision. M.O.D.O.K seeks revenge against Miss Marvel, attempting to mind control the heroine, and then hire assassin Deathbird to kill her. Miss Marvel overcomes these obstacles and finally defeats M.O.D.O.K.
You win. Death is like candy.
I'm a mental organism designed only for killing. And that's what I do. Our next battle is against Taskmaster, Super Skrull, and Chun-Li.
You are no match for M.O.D.O.K.
I'm here to teach you some moves.
So, no special jabs there, but AIM actually hires the Serpent Society to assassinate the villain, and the character, M.O.D.O.K, was actually killed by Death Adder, a member of the Serpent Society. M.O.D.O.K is resurrected by AIM because M.O.D.O.K is needed to assist with the creation of another cosmic cube. And, so let's talk about his powers now. George Tarleton is what M.O.D.O.K was before. That's who he was, at least. Is subjected to a mutagenic process that grants him superhuman intelligence, including a computer-like memory and the ability to score and retain large databases of information very quickly, and also to solve abstract mathematical problems very instantaneously. I don't even know if I said that right. He also has the ability to calculate the mathematical probability of any given event occurring, an ability so strong that it borders on precognition. However, his creativity remains at the average human level. As M.O.D.O.K, the character also has psionic powers, the move we actually just did. That was weird, sorry, my thing closed down. But he possesses psionic powers, enabling him to mentally control both individuals and large groups, and it generates force fields able to withstand minor nuclear explosions. Courtesy of AIM technology, M.O.D.O.K wears a headband that enables him to focus his mental powers into a devastating beam. A side effect of the mutation was the growth of Tarleton's head, to the point where his body can no longer support the weight, necessitating the use of an exoskeleton or a hover chair, what you see him in now. The chair is equipped with a variety of weapons, including missiles and lasers, which you see many times in here, such as the little balls we're throwing now, and as we defeated Super Skrull.
You win. Ah, your screams are like music to my ears.
Clearly, you lack my intelligence. Or you... Perfect example. That is the same one we read already. I just wanted to say it like that. Next up, Nemesis, Spider-Man, and Dormammu. I can never pronounce that
I
right.
got experiments like you. I call them failures.
An obvious jab at Nemesis, considering he looks like just a mess, if you ask me. M.O.D.O.K saying that he has experiments like him, basically, and he calls them failures. Anyway, occasionally Tarleton had the use of a gigantic humanoid vehicle that was proportionally sized to his head. Tarleton's organs also wear out quickly, necessitating the use of Harvest clones whose organs are used to sustain him. Excuse me. By the way, I really want to get rid of Nemesis. He's a problem. As the leader of AIM, M.O.D.O.K has advanced technology and a personal army at his disposal. There are other versions of M.O.D.O.K, such as M.O.D.O.K, mental organism designed only for conquest, spelled with a C at the end, who appears briefly in Marvel Adventures The Avengers. M.O.D.O.K, mobile organism designed only for talking. M.O.D.O.K, mobile organism designed only for genocide. And M.O.D.O.K. Now this one's a fun one. Mental organ is designed only for roller derby. Yep, you heard me right, nerds and geeks. There's another version of M.O.D.O.K designed only for roller derby. Oh boy. M.O.D.O.K appears in the 1994 Iron Man TV series and was voiced by Jim Cummings. The Iron Man Armored Adventures series, and he was voiced by Lee Takar. The Superhero Squad show, voiced by Tim Kenny. The Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, voiced by Wally Wingrape, who is also the voice of M.O.D.O.K in here. The Ultimate Spider-Man, he had no voice, and he also will appear in the summer 2012, but I meant to say 2013 animated special Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel, which I'm not gonna lie, I am excited about. M.O.D.O.K appears as a boss in Marvel Ultimate Alliance and was voiced by Michael Goh. Marvel Superhero Squad and Marvel Superhero Squad in the Infinity Gauntlet, voiced by Tom Kenny in both of those. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Fate of Two Worlds, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and was voiced by Wally Wingrape. He appears in the Marvel Superhero Squad Comic Combat, Marvel Superhero Squad Online, and the Facebook game Marvel Avengers Alliance. We defeated Spider-Man there, and we're almost done with all our information too.
I don't even need my sword for such an easy fight.
Mavericks are to blight on the world, and it's my job to eradicate them. That was a pretty bad Zero voice, so you gotta excuse me, I'm in my M.O.D.O.K voice right now. But next we're facing Morgan, Sentinel, and Spencer.
You are no match for M.O.D.O.K.
You're in for quite a night.
No little special things there, and the last bit of information I had to give you is the band Monster Magnet, and if you're a wrestling fan, they did Matt Hardy's theme song. They refer to M.O.D.O.K and their song, oh god, this is going to be a tough one, Baby Goddard Damarung. There you go. And also the rapper Akira the Don has a song titled M.O.D.O.K on his superhero music mixtape. Like I said, that's all I have for you with the M.O.D.O.K thing. And usually when I tend to run out of information for and these things, you know, I tend to give you my opinion on the character and if they deserve to be in this game or not. M.O.D.O.K to me is a character that I believe that is made to look like a fool a lot of the time. I mean, it's okay to make, you know, have characters look like jokes. I mean, hell, my favorite villain in the world is Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb, so. But at the same time, what I like about M.O.D.O.K is, yes, he's a kind of like a joke character, but at the same time, he's still very devastating. Like the heroes, they don't take him lightly. You know, they notice that this guy could mess us up, in all honesty, and as they should. And as for him being in this game, he received a lot of negativity towards him being in this game at first. When I was actually very excited about him being in the game, it was a new character. I mean, you have Crimson Viper, who's a new character, and Hagar, who was a new character. All those people, but they weren't really new. They mimicked the past characters such as Captain Commando and Zangief. They mimicked them. They were basically just clones of them in a way. And M.O.D.O.K, he was just a new character altogether. Like, I can't think of a character who has any resemblance towards this character. And I personally was excited to see M.O.D.O.K. M.O.D.O.K being one of my favorite villains in the Marvel Universe. And the fact that he was in this game, I mean, I feel like maybe he does, like, there's people that deserve to be in the game more than M.O.D.O.K. But at the same time, I feel like he should have been in the game, you know, like, he deserves to be here. I don't see why people don't think he doesn't. I mean, if characters like Storm and She-Hulk and Phoenix can make their way into the game, then why can't M.O.D.O.K make his way into the game? M.O.D.O.K's a big villain in the Marvel Universe. He may not seem like it since you don't hear much about him. But yes, M.O.D.O.K, in my opinion, was a fantastic choice to be in this game. And, good going, Capcom, for picking M.O.D.O.K. He was more of an unsuspected character, too. Like, you expected people like, you know, Dr. Doom or Magneto to make their way into the game, and even characters that didn't make their way in the game that were villains, like such as Venom and Spencer, I hate you. But yes, you know, Venom, who didn't make his way into the game, and many other villains from the past could have made their way into this game, and the fact that M.O.D.O.K made it in over Venom shocks me. I mean, I probably would have put Venom in over M.O.D.O.K. I did not mean to do that one way the way I tried to do my duplicate thing. But nonetheless, you know, M.O.D.O.K, he was a good character choice, you know? Very good character choice.
I don't even need my sword for such an easy fight.
Did you really think I'd fall for those gimmicks? Give me a break. Again, my Zero impersonation. But next up, we get to face the mighty Planet Devourer Galactus.
The ultimate nullifier would give me pause.
Now I can add killing a god to my resume.
I think M.O.D.O.K is actually the only person to have a speech with Galactus, and you'll see in this one why Wesker is a pain in the ass. Oh, it is bad. Like, it doesn't look too bad right now, but once Domaru came in, it was pretty bad, and I figured I tag Zero in because I wanted to do a Marvel character. So what I'm trying to do is trade back and forth with Marvel and Capcom. You know, have 1 week, like last week we did Akuma, like 1 week we'll do Capcom, next week we'll do Marvel. So I figured if I'm gonna lose to these Heralds, it'd be Zero to go down, and unfortunately, Zero went down. The only good thing about the Heralds is the fact that if one of them blocks, doesn't mean the other one's gonna block. I think Domaru actually blocked that time. I'm trying to stay away from it as much as I can, because Domaru with that stupid range... I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. Wait, hold on, now. There we go, done sneezing. Believe it or not, though, I did beat them. Of course, you don't really need to believe that. And now we're facing Galactus, and it may look grim right now, but I actually really took it to Galactus in this fight. I mean, I took him to the limit, if you ask me. And we only have 2 people right now. I tried to float over like I did with Iron Man, but I wasn't high enough. And I just recently learned that you can dodge that. For the longest time, I didn't think you could dodge that move where he grabbed you. Mistakes. But yeah, I didn't think you could dodge that move where he grabs you, but you can jump over it. So, you know, things aren't looking good for M.O.D.O.K right now, and definitely aren't good for him now, considering he just did a finisher. So obviously, since I've just read all that M.O.D.O.K stuff and everything, you already probably know that we did not win this fight, and that is why Galactus decided to be a douchebag.
You are defeated. What does...
And Galactus does say there, he goes, what does Earth's mightiest heroes mean to Galactus, or something like that. I think that's what it is, at least. I skipped it because I was kind of pissed. I was like, damn, I was so close, because I really did take him to the limit, and at one point I had myself believing that I was going to win that fight. So, you know, I was a little upset about it, and I skipped it all. I kind of wish I did it now, though.
You are not unlike...
And we skipped that one, and I hate Wesker, dude. Wesker is a pain in the ass. And for right now, I'm trying to, you know, do my whole friggin' M.O.D.O.K, but Wesker was just staying as far away as possible. And my advice, and don't really take my advice as a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player. If you want any advice, go to Maximilian or Miles923. He's a fantastic Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player. But yeah, my advice for playing M.O.D.O.K, which I said, like, if you want, you can take my advice, but I'm like I said, I'm not the best at this game. But M.O.D.O.K's the character I consider myself good as. Stay as far away as you can and spam the hell out of those analyzed Qs, because the more you get the analyzed cube on them, the more damage you do, and your berries are bigger. Because basically, he's analyzing all their weaknesses and shit. I do the same thing with Iron Man. See, this is what confuses me. I have no idea why he aimed up. Nobody was in the air. When I saw it, I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" Well, nonetheless, like I said, the same thing I have for M.O.D.O.K is the same thing I do with Iron Man. I like to just stay away and spam all the abilities. I've seen a lot of good Iron Mans out there, though. There are a lot of them. And Iron Man, if you ask me, I love fighting Galactus with Iron Man, because I don't know why, it seems, I feel like I do a lot more damage with Iron Man to Galactus. Like, look at it, he's already almost down the halfway, and I haven't even tagged anybody else in. How did he hit me? I was blocking. Of course, I couldn't block at that time, and for some reason, I don't know why, I pulled M.O.D.O.K. Oh, that's why. I didn't even understand this before. I pulled M.O.D.O.K. out. I should have pulled Zero out. because M.O.D.O.K has I use his barrier, and that's not gonna help me out. I don't know what I was thinking. Another thing I like to do with Zero is I like to do his double thing, especially when I fight Galactus, because it brings double damage. That's my advice to anyone that wants to beat Galactus with Zero. Do the double thing, because watch this. He's doing his ult right now that would kill Zero, but with that double shit, I fucked his day up. And as usual, like I said, I wanted to finish with a Marvel character. I could have easily finished with Zero there, but like I said, I want to do Marvel character. I'm trying to keep it a good trade back there, and we finished him with the mental organ is designed only for killing.
You win! I must admit, I've had my eye on your helmet the entire time.
AIM headquarters. I should request it, sir, from your battle with Galactus. Ooh, I've been waiting for this. So tell me, fellas. How do I look? And be honest. Well, they took out the best line. One point in that his old ending in the original Marvel vs. Capcom, the vanilla one, he says something like, and be honest, I promise I won't kill you, or something like that. And it was my favorite line. I'm a little upset that they take it out, but not too much change in M.O.D.O.K's ending, to be honest with you. Some lines here or there. But, yes, I want to talk about what M.O.D.O.K said to Galactus at the very end. He said, I've had my eye on your helmet through the whole fight. I think M.O.D.O.K is the only one who has a special, talk, or speech, basically, or I don't know what to call it, with Galactus. I don't think any other character has something special with Galactus, but I think M.O.D.O.K is the only one. But nonetheless, Nerds and Geeks, this is the end of the M.O.D.O.K arcade playthrough, and I do hope you have personally enjoyed it. And if you have, of course, please leave me a like and subscribe if you would like to see more of these arcade playthroughs if you have not subscribed already. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook and like me on Twitter. And as always, Nerds and Geeks, I have been OMG, WTF, LOL, FT, WBRB, Nerds and Geeks, and I'll be seeing you next week for another Suprokcer Saturday Marvel vs. Capcom playthrough, where we play through as a Capcom character, hopefully. So until then, Nerds and Geeks, you guys have a great day. Go Vikings!